Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about last night's AEW Dynamite with the huge announcement from Tony Khan and more Adam Cole.
Yeah, Cole.
But first, before we do that, let's talk about what we all want to hear. Vince McMahon is back running creative. What a great day it is, Larson.
No, awful. Worst day.
Worst day.
So, of course, during yesterday's show, we mentioned a tweet from Sean Ross Sapp that he put out there right before we got started. It stated, quote, "This week, the WWE talent reached out and told me they believe Vince McMahon was back in creative, and we were hoping that today we'd be able to offer some more details." Mm-hmm. In fact, we can do that because shortly after we wrapped up yesterday's show, Sean tweeted a follow-up, quote, "Sources within WWE that would be in the position to know tell Fightful Select that these fears are unfounded. We couldn't get any confirmations on those talents' fears, as noted in the original post. Triple H has been open that Vince has input, and it has been adamant to talent that Triple H has final say." And then PW Torch's Wade Keller, also on Twitter, confirmed Vince not involved creative, saying this, quote, "I was flat out told today that Vince McMahon is not back involved in WWE creative." So that should hopefully put this to rest.
Well, I wonder if there's going to be. See, here's the thing that you think that would, but I kind of doubt it's going to because.
Oh no, it's not. But hopefully.
Well, what I was going to say is, I feel like number one, until the sale goes down, there's always going to be, because here's the thing, he's the guy at the top, and Dave Meltzer mentioned that the whole bloodline thing involves both Triple H and Vince. Triple H himself has said he consults with Vince, among many other people. And so this isn't like a binary thing. It's not like a yes or no thing. It seems clear that he's not actively the guy running creative. Like that seems clear that he's not at the gorilla position. He's not the one coming in, ripping up scripts and then rewriting them himself moments before. So all that stuff does seem to be off the table, but there is an element of he's there and the big decisions seemingly are going to go through him because at the end of the day, it's his company. And so he is going to have a say on how a lot of these broad strokes are happening. That just is normal. I mean, Triple H has a boss, and that boss is Vince McMahon. It's his company. He basically runs the company from the top, and then he delegates now. And so I think this is always going to be kind of a thing. How much involvement is Vince McMahon going to have? And it'll probably change on like a day-to-day basis depending on what's going on. But I think as long as Triple H continues to be successful doing what he's doing, and when I say successful, I don't mean from the subjective creative standpoint. I mean they're able to boast good numbers. You know, Raw hit 2 million again the other day. They're able to boast good numbers from a financial and metrics standpoint. Then I think even Vince McMahon knows, I'm going to stay out of it because why mess with things? But the broader strokes in terms of the big matches to sell at WrestleMania, are probably going to, Vince is going to be the guy that he consults with that kind of stuff.
Oh, probably. Yeah. And I had read that rumors kind of got started about Vince maybe being back in some more prominent role in creative because of the Omos Brock Lesnar match. That was the challenge was issued on Raw, and according to Meltzer, that's going to be the match for Mania.
Yeah, what's the like the Vince connection?
I don't know for sure, but I guess people thought, well, it seemed like Brock was going to either take on Lashley or Bray, but Vince is trying to help Omos get over, and therefore putting him in the ring against Brock. That would be my guess. I didn't really see the logic behind thinking, this must be a Vince move, but I'm just trying to put the pieces together.
Last I checked, it wasn't Brock Roman at WrestleMania. You want to find out if Vince is really running things, and it'd be
somehow it's Brock Roman. Probably.
Brock versus Roman. Like in this situation, I have no idea how this match is going to go down. Who's going to win it? I mean, if you want to build up Omos, then you have Omos win. Just like he beat Braun. You use Brock, who's older, who's super part-time at this point, to get Omos over. that's what you do. And trying to build up a new star like that, I don't have a problem with that at all. In fact, I'll be honest with you, and I mentioned this the other day. I forget if it was on the show or in pre-show or post-show. I don't know what it was. But the idea that Vince is consulted on broad strokes, I don't think is like a terrible thing. Seemingly, Vince just had a hard time running day-to-day creative and the entire company all on his own. I think that in a general, very broad sense, I think Vince McMahon had some quality stuff to offer. And you can look back WrestleMania 2019 when he had Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte, which I thought was a smart move on his part to make that the triple threat. They had a terrific go-home segment for that. Drew McIntyre winning the Rumble and then beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, I thought was a pretty wise move. I thought there are good things you could look back at Vince McMahon's, the big picture stuff with him. And he didn't always get it wrong. It was just the guy had no idea how to book week-to-week television anymore because he was old and he didn't remember shit and he had to run the entire company himself. So,
yeah.
Or he didn't have to. He elected to. He elected to, yeah.
Quick correction here. Braun actually beat Amos.
Oh, Braun beat Amos?
At Crown Jewel, yes.
They didn't do a thing where Amos got his win back on that one?
Let me double check that. But at least for the pay-per-view match, Braun got the win there.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but if this match happens, if it is Brock and Moss, Brock's not losing. Brock's not losing.
Yeah, you're probably right. Still, it's a good feature for Amos.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And just because Amos will probably lose doesn't mean it's a bad spot for him to be in. I mean, you're right about as far as the metrics say that WWE's on the upswing. I to a certain degree, you got to be pessimistic about Vince accepting a lesser role, but until we see him not playing a lesser role, we got to assume he is. So long as the metrics are good in terms of ratings, like every pay-per-view now, they're touting it as the most successful pay-per-view. Basically, every time they have a major show in a city, they're touting it as the largest revenue they've ever generated in that city. It's been a pretty consistent thing. Just happened in Elimination Chamber. Ratings are good. I'd be surprised if their social metrics aren't going up as well. But like if we see a very sudden and very, very obvious downturn of the quality of the weekly television, that's when you know Vince is more involved. We haven't seen that yet.
Well, you'll know that when I think that kind of thing would happen the second he stepped foot at the tapings or at live TV.
Yeah, and that's saying that if that happens, then we know he's taking a much larger role.
But we'll get that in the form of a tweet from Sean Ross Sapp saying Vince is backstage because he always knows that stuff. So the second Sean tweets that out, we'll know, okay, this is probably going to be crap.
Oh, the second that happens, it's going to be, oh gosh, sky is falling, and everybody's going to be trying to, oh gosh, Vince is back.
You got to do emergency podcast. He's back. It's happening. It's like that the gift from The Office. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's it's all kind of the thing that we need to be really talking about is like what's going to happen this summer with the sale of the company.
Yeah,
like after that, look, if we get to like August and Triple H is still running things, and if the company's been sold, then maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we can start relaxing a little bit. And I guess depending on if Vince has been squeezed out yet. Do you think because Triple H stands to make a ton of money off of a sale as well?
A good amount of money, yeah. The millions of dollars, I believe, yeah.
It's going to be a lot. It's probably in the tens of millions, I would think.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember. I saw some figures of who would stand to make what, and obviously Vince would make.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like in the billions or something.
Yeah,
like that,
right. Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly what the amount that Triple H was.
It stands to be probably quite a lot of money.
Oh,
and
it's
of
a
course,
substantial sum of money.
Stephanie as well. That's his wife and everything. Do you think if it was like, hey, here's all this money, if he was asked to stay on, do you think he'd take that? And this is speculation. We don't know the guy. But do you think that he would be like, yeah, I want to stick around and create the future of WWE? Or not? I just want to, yeah, Triple H.
You mean in lieu of getting his?
No, he'd still get the money. He's gonna get that
regardless. Why wouldn't he stay?
There's a lot of money. Maybe he just wants to kick back and do a whole lot of nothing.
Doing it. This is his passion. It seems like this is what he dedicates so much of his life to. Yeah, I'd be surprised if he could cash out. Okay, John Fear and Loathing says,
oh my God, Vince would make $2.5 billion. Steph and Triple H would make $400 million combined. Yeah, so I think it'd be a ton of money.
You never know. Never know.
Because
he
you're thinking,
really like this.
If you have like 10 mil in the bank, it's like, yeah, I'll go down to the office. But if you have like $400 million,
it depends what drives Triple H.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
At this point, I'm sure he's already financially secure.
Oh, yeah, sure. But there's a difference between being financially secure and having $400 million.
I understand that. But, at this point in his life, he had the health scare. He had the heart issue.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, he could have been like, all right, done.
I think that heart issue, the health scare, probably would have been a bigger indicator. Like, okay, is he going to come back or not?
Yeah.
And he seems to love doing this.
He loves doing it. And so, yeah, I would be pretty surprised if he had if he and Stephanie had almost $500 million in the bank, if he was like, done.
Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised, too, if he was offered, the ability to shape the future of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think he'd take it, too. It's just a fun conversation to have if you had $400 million sitting around. What would you do if you had $400 million sitting around, Larson?
I'd sit around.
I have no desire to shape the future of wrestling podcasting.
Nope.
Sit around and do absolutely nothing.
You got that right.
What kind of house? I'm kind of curious now. What kind of house would you then?
I'm not like a huge house guy because it's just more upkeep.
Yeah, but you have $400 million. It's not upkeep for you. It's upkeep for whoever you hire to do it.
I'm not going to hire staff. No, that's not how I do things.
You got $400 million,
No,
brother.
There's a lot of good you could do with that money.
Yeah, hiring people isn't good. You gotta hire people, pay them a good wage.
To what? To clean my kitchen? No, I'll clean my own kitchen. I don't need a giant house. I don't need 5 cars. I'm fine with 1 car.
Oh, man.
You know what I want? I just want an office. I just want my own office.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about. Is a house that is decent. Everybody gets
hold on a
space.
second. Wait, back up a second.
What?
You have $400 million. What do you need an office for? You're not doing anything.
Well, I still might want to, I got all this music stuff back here. That could be my hobby.
Do like a music studio. Okay. All right. I like it.
We'll still do pay-per-view watch-alongs. How about that?
Oh, that'd be so much fun. That'd be a blast. You know what we do? Because you have $400 million now, right?
Yeah.
We just
Wait, only I would have the money? You wouldn't have any of this money?
Yeah, I'm sure I'd have some too. I'd get like a theater, and we just get all our friends out to watch along just in person. And then if we happen to set up a live stream as well, cool, so right on. Yeah. Then be catered by like cool stuff. Yeah, man, I love it. Well, hot stuff. Del Taco.
All right, Del Taco's fine.
Okay. Before we get going on our AEW Dynamite recap, going to plug some shit here. FriendoShop.com. We got tons of great merch there. I got a couple samples over here. Look at this. I'm sure this isn't trademarked.
I saw somebody violation. Else. I don't remember what it was, but it had a shirt that was inspired by the Raw is War logo, so I think we're fine.
Yeah, but it did literally have the word Raw on it because I feel like this is really toeing the line here, or this is really like.
Well, to be fair, that's the name of our show.
That's true. So you can get this shirt right here. It's an Old Attitude logo type thing for going in Raw. Great looking shirt. You can get that right now. FriendoShop.com. We have the original Friendo Club shirt as well. This goes back years. Look at that one. It's got a skull with like Larson's little bearded face and my face. So you can check out that one too. We got hoodies. We got a hat over there.
Yeah, the hoodies are very comfortable.
The hoodies are very comfortable. We got this hat right here, Friendo Club hat. More stuff to come. I'll have another drop come WrestleMania. But for now, you can still get 20% off. Use the code Rumble. Also, we've got new YouTube memberships at $20 and $20, kind of like the $20 Patreon tier. You get the Friendo Care Package. You got to send us a little email with your address and everything. But you get the Going In Raw full color comic book here. You get a bunch of stickers, my face, Larson's face. If you see a van rolling around Rancho Cordova, that's my parents' van that's got our faces on it. We got some. Oh, that's on the thing. That's not right. You get an 8x10 here, right here. It's autographed. This one's not autographed, but the one that you'll be sent is autographed. Postcard. Just have a bunch of stuff laying around.
It's a cornucopia of goods.
It really is, yeah. So it's $20 YouTube membership. Also, right now on YouTube, you can gift memberships. So if you want to spread the love, you can gift memberships now at the YouTube channel. And then, of course, patrons at $5 and up and channel members can participate in the upcoming AEW Revolution Predictions Challenge. The digital Big Red title, currently possessed by Moses Opposes, will be on the line.
Up for grabs.
Yep. And so it's going to be a predictions challenge. And then also the ECW Hardcore TV Retro Review is live now for channel members and and patrons of $5 and up. That's going to be live on the channel, I believe, this weekend, but you can check it out right now. Just click join on YouTube or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. It's also where we do our questions threads.
Indeed.
Talk about AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
You know, we were sort of poo-pooing the lineup yesterday, but I thought Dynamite was actually pretty decent. I thought it was pretty entertaining yesterday, Larson.
It was. And, you know, maybe part of that was the expectations weren't terribly high given the lineup. I don't know. But it seemed like they injected something into the show that had been lacking. I think one aspect, energy and urgency. I didn't feel like there'd been a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of urgency going on in the show, and I felt like they had that last night.
It's sort of like
every segment felt like it mattered.
I agree with you. It's sort of a weird nebulous thing, isn't it? Like a sense of we need a sense of urgency. Okay, how do we do that? I don't know. Just act like you have to go to the bathroom during the entire thing. You know, I don't know. Like that is one of those things where it's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah. Add
energy and add a sense of urgency, but I felt it as well.
You know, I think part of that's pacing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it felt there were segments where it actually felt like there were stakes, and you know, you look at the Revolution Battle Royals winning team got into the four-way match for the tag titles of Revolution. Obviously, there's stakes there, but it's little details like the Wheeler Yuta Orange Cassidy match, where yes, in the promo they did on Rampage, they reminded us that Wheeler Yuta used to be a part of Best Friends, and it's a small thing. During the match, they had little picture-in-picture bits showing periods when Wheeler and Orange Cassidy teamed up, and after they had split up, they kind of recapped the story and reminded us, oh, there's actually something on the line here too. In the match, the story of the match followed that.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you know, it's stuff like that in the details, rather than just throwing a match together, putting it out there, and hoping, since two people actually have had some interaction in the past, that some story could be salvaged from it. They actually seem like, okay, there's a story here. Let's remind people of the history and then mirror that history in the match itself.
I thought taking that history so seriously was a really smart move. I thought Cesaro coming out and sort of slapping him and saying, hey, what are you doing? Why are you dicking around with this guy? Go do what we do, and that bit where Orange Cassidy gives him a hug and Wheeler sort of, rejects that as well. I thought it was a phenomenal match. I did. I thought the setup on Rampage was lame, but I thought the actual match itself, the story that I told, I thought was actually really, really solid. I thought it was good stuff.
It was. MJF got a lot of people talking again after his promo last night. This one involving a breakup he mentions in his life. And according to Sean Ross Sapp, he actually did break up with his fiance. And he gets on Danielson about taking his family, his marriage, his children for granted, and putting all that on the line every time he steps on the ring. And MJF says, that's an insult to me, because I would give anything to have what you have. And yet all I have, the only thing I can love unconditionally is this belt. And so, I mean, that was one thing I felt was really lacking from this feud, was there was nothing really personal about it. Beyond just I'm better than you, but that's most wrestling feuds. At least that's what kicks things off for the most part. You need to be more personal, and it felt like MJF finally cracked how Danielson coming after his title isn't just an affront to him as a professional wrestler, but an affront to him, like in terms of philosophically how he views himself and views life.
Yeah, you have what I want, and you're taking it for granted by even being here. I thought that it was, I guess it, and I saw some discourse, and it's Twitter. You and I have had conversations about how shitty the wrestling discourse is. It's extra obnoxious these days. But people complaining about or being snarky about, MJF and his shifting motivations. 1 week it's, oh, I'm so bad that I did this thing with a car accident. This week it's, hey, my fiance left me, and this is the only thing I love now, and you have a family, and I want that. But at least, hey, you know what? They're trying to find something in it, and I thought the promo did accomplish that. In that he really did try his damnedest, MJF, as a promo, or using the promo to drum up some extra motivation. A lot of people, including us, have been complaining about the build to Revolution, how a lot of the stories just haven't felt all that interesting. And I thought, if nothing else, he did the thing that he can do really good, and that's talking. To say, hey, you know what? Here's some more motivation as to why, you get under my skin so much and why I want to, put you down. So I thought it was a pretty effective segment there.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Phil Lindsay on Twitter. I'm checking right now. Compared MJF to the Joker in The Dark Knight. Remember, there were several times in that movie where they were like, Joker was asked, like, I'm paraphrasing, like, why do you do the things you do? And each time he gives a different answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's an interesting viewpoint on it. And if I don't know if that's something that MJF, it was Phil, is doing consciously,
yeah.
Or if it's just, hey, I got to throw stuff at the wall and see what happens. I don't know. But if it's a conscious decision, then that's an interesting approach.
He's been known to sort of, I don't know. And again, it's a situation where, you can either look at, is it a creative decision or is it born out of necessity, just trying their damnedest, like you said, throwing shit at wall, see what sticks. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what it is, that is kind of an interesting take. A guy who, just to sort of play mind games, even do what he can to elicit some amount of sympathy, but at the same time, some amount of rage towards him. Two very different tacks, and that's an interesting take. I hadn't thought about that. I like that.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Till I saw that.
And at a certain point, like, how it came about becomes a little less important than what do we see on the screen? What are they doing? You take the performers and their craft out of it and just, okay, well, what are we given? And then you come with it. I mean, dude, wrestling does that all the time. You just do so many stories, and eventually you can reference history and be like, oh, hey, they did this one time. We can reference that. Yeah. So, interesting stuff.
Yeah. Then we got the announcement. Tony Khan announced that Adam Cole had an announcement. That announcement was AEW All Access. It's a 1-hour reality show, documentary style show. It depends to see what the presentation is going to be. It's backstage, AEW stuff. Adam Cole made the announcement because it sounds like we're going to follow his recuperation from his concussions pretty closely during the show.
Eddie Kingston mentioned on Twitter as well.
He's going to be in it too, yeah.
Yeah. No, look, if you and I had speculated that if this is anything like, and I suspect maybe when Cody Rhodes left, and maybe there was some idea that they were going to get an additional season of Rhodes to the Top.
Yeah.
We had often said some of the more interesting aspects of Rhodes to the Top were simply the backstage AEW stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if this is going to have more of a, because I know you and I are both big fans of, what was it called? Breaking Ground? Is that what it's called?
The NXT show, yeah.
The NXT, which I thought sort of went the furthest in breaking kayfabe, if you will, that anybody really has done. And I hope that they try to go as far as they can with giving us actual, backstage looks. And we don't need to be there for people planning out their matches. They don't have to go that far.
Oh man, that's what I want to see.
It's what I want to see. I don't expect it though. But yeah, no, any sort of peek behind the scenes of the creative process in any way, shape, or form, I think is interesting. I think sort of more interesting in that whole announcement though was Adam Cole's returning to the ring next week with when All Access, the week that All Access starts.
Yeah, the Dynamite that's preceding the premiere of All Access. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
return to the ring. They didn't say what date that was. It's just sometime in March.
Right. Yeah. So that'll be really cool. I'd love, I can't wait to see Adam Cole back in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows who's going to show up on this? Honestly, if it was just an hour of cameras following Eddie Kingston around,
oh, that'd be great.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
That'd be great.
I mentioned earlier, Jeff Jarrett, ain't he great? Jay Lethal earned a spot in the tag title bout at Revolution. One spot left. There's a casino battle royal next week. Sep's a little different. FTR is totally going to come back, totally going to win this, just as we predicted. And that'll be a really good match if it is FTR. There's all the stories between FTR, Gun Club, Acclaimed. Then you introduce Jarrett and Lethal, a new matchup for FTR. It seems like it's pretty exciting. Could be some pretty exciting stuff.
No, I think it's going to be a phenomenal match because it's totally going to be FTR. And that match is going to be absolutely, it's going to be stellar. I think it's going to be one of those show stealing matches. And yeah, shout out to Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal for winning.
You could tell Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Satnam and Sanjay are just having an absolute blast.
That bit where he was holding him up, they had been knocked off by like Trent or whatever, and he was holding them up, and Jay Lethal started praying. Oh, I love their chemistry together. They're so much fun. I know a lot of people are like, why are they having them with? I don't care, man. I think they're hilarious. I think they're a lot of fun. Yeah, neither you nor I were ever a big Jeff Jarrett fan back in the day. But more recently, I've come to appreciate him. Honestly, so much of it is like clips that I've seen from like the Deadlock guys that'll post on Twitter. I'm like, man, maybe I should have been paying closer attention back during the TNA days, because some of that stuff is legitimately funny and pretty entertaining.
What kind of turned Jeff Jarrett around for me is he's not in it a whole lot, but the movie Spring Breakers.
Yeah, I never did see that, but yeah.
And he's in it for a little bit in performance. That's like, wow, he's a pretty good actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe he can do this pro wrestling thing.
For me, there was a span when he was like popping up in all sorts of like interviews and stuff, and like I think he did like a Table for Three, and I'm like, man, like away from his obnoxious wrestling persona, which I never really was on board with, like he's just a really interesting guy. Like obviously being in the business for as long as he has been, and being however many generations, second or third or whatever it is. I'm happy for that, and having a couple of veterans like that in the match at Revolution, I think is going to enhance it. And yeah, it should. I'm really looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
I mean, right now, with the way Sanjay and Jarrett and Lethal are interacting, it's like the perfect amount of obnoxious.
It is, yeah. It's just entertaining. It's just it adds an element of entertaining.
Sanjay Dutt is wildly entertaining.
He is.
Jarrett's
really
not the focal point.
Right.
So he can kind of be the occasionally obnoxious individual, and that works fine.
Yeah.
So the chemistry that they have right now is working. So, it's going to be an interesting element added to that match. Another veteran team.
That is going to be a good one. Before we get into the full recap, we have 415 people watching right now here on YouTube. Ninja Shake is a new channel member. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Do us a huge favor, though. It's really easy. It's free. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. A little notify bell next. We've actually been chipping away. We're on the verge, Larson, of getting back in the green, so to speak, when it comes to our sub growth.
Nice.
I think it's all the streaming we've been doing on YouTube, all the more paying attention to YouTube that we've been doing. So who knows? Maybe one day before we retire, 15 years from now, we'll get to that 200,000 subscriber mark.
Maybe.
Maggie has the link here for the Twitch chatters. If you can just hit that link, hit that thumbs up.
Thank you, Maggie.
If we get to 200, maybe Paul will call in. Maybe Triple H will call in.
Yeah.
Talk about last night's Dynamite.
Before we get to the recap, let's talk the main event. I thought it was pretty well executed, having Evil Uno tell Paige before the match, hey, we got to go stand up for ourselves. Dark Order. We got to, because he said, whatever, Paige, you tell us to not get involved, it makes me think that you think that we're not at your level.
Right, they're not.
Yeah, but I can understand why Uno would be slighted by that.
Yeah, of course.
And says, I want you to not get involved. I need to go prove myself against Jon Moxley.
Oof, yeah.
And credit to Uno, he took the fight to Mox.
Yeah.
The best he could. And the image at the end where he's busted open and blood is squirting out of his head while Mox has the bulldog or the rear naked choke on him was something else. And he didn't tap, passed out. And then the brawl at the end was crazy. And you think, okay, Mox got through his match without bleeding. He's not going to bleed that night. Wrong.
It's what people pay to see, man.
Apparently, because then Hangman gets some barbed wire, wraps around his fist, and starts punching Mox in the head. So one of the final shots of the show is Mox leaning against the ramp, just blood pouring down his face.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like looking at that one on paper, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be Goof Fest, 3000." But Uno showed up. His beef was out, which was awesome. And he bled a ton. And I'll be honest, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I know we've had this discussion before. I've seen it also on Twitter or whatever. We're used to seeing Mox bleed, and it's become less special. But it just sort of goes to show that Evil Uno comes out, puts on a killer match. He's bleeding through that mask. That's interesting. It still is effective, even though we see it every week on Mox. So if you use it in interesting ways, like with Uno, it can still be very effective, even though we get it every week. So I thought that, again, speaking of the sense of urgency, Uno brought it from the bell. He brought it. He came straight at Mox, and this was a different evil Uno than we're used to seeing. And that's why it worked, because he was bringing the violence to Moxley. And I thought it was awesome, man.
I even thought Mox bleeding at the end was effective.
Yeah, exactly. Because you think he's not going to. Because
you think, all right, he's got the match not bleeding. As Uno's the one that's pouring blood out of his head. No blood for Mox tonight. No.
Yeah.
Because you have Hangman just very dramatically get that hunk of barbed wire, put on his fist, and start annihilating Mox in his head.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're going to bleed so much.
That's going to be a bloodbath.
They are going to bleed so much. Texas death.
Woo.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's get into it. Show kicked off. Wheeler Yuta. You want to do his voice, Steve?
You know what? Out of respect to the match, I'm not going to do the voice.
All right, very good.
Thought it was a killer match.
It was really good versus Orange Cassidy. It started out very technical. And at one point, Claudio comes down, and it looked like Wheeler goes to ringside and starts complaining to him.
Yeah.
Starts whining about it. And Claudio just goes, whoop-ha, slaps him across the face.
Slaps him, yeah.
And then after that, it's aggressive Yuta. It's the story of this match. It was Wheeler complaining about being bullied by Trent, complaining about Chuck treating him like a clown. And here, Cassidy is out wrestling him when he's supposed to be the guy in the wrestling group.
You know what, man? I can't disappoint the people. What do they say? You got to give the people what they want.
You got to give the people what they
So
want.
Cesaro comes out. He's bullying me in the ring. And then Cesaro slaps in the face. There's your one Wheeler Yuta voice.
There you go. It's because Orange used Yuta's finisher against him, the seatbelt.
Oh, he was pissed about that.
Really and so then Wheeler came back in the ring and just was aggressive, and even more aggressive. Down towards the finish, Yuta puts on a seatbelt. Orange kicks out of that, hits an orange punch. Yuta kicks out of that. Orange hits a beach break. Yuta kicks out of that. So Yuta's on his knees, and then Orange hits him with another orange punch to get the win. Really good match. A lot of really good back and forth stuff. We have our criticisms of Wheeler as a character, but he's capable of putting on really good matches like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure.
So after the match, eventually Yuta gets to his feet, and Orange offers him a hug. Hey, let's move on. And Claudio comes back down to ringside, and Yuta looks at him. And so instead of hugging Orange, walks right past him, leaves with Claudio.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta draw the line somewhere. Yeah. So like a couple people are behind on YouTube chat, and Rick Rosser here says, "What? Do the voice." It's like Mox bleeding, right? I can't not do the voice. Oh man, freaking
everybody's used
out.
When we talk Wheeler Yuta, you do the voice.
You gotta give the people what they want. So sorry to freak anybody out. We said, what? Do the voice. Fine, I'll perform for you. Anyways, so after that, we had that Hangman Evil Uno interview with Renee that you had referenced earlier. Asked how he's been preparing for his match. Uno says, how does one prepare for Jon Moxley? And Hangman says, you don't. He says, I asked you guys to stay out of this 1,000 times, and I get it. And Uno says, you know what? I've heard you talk so many times, Hangman, told us so many times not to get involved. But every time you say that, do you know what I hear? The Dark Order is not on your level. So I have a request for you. No matter what happens in that match, from bell to bell, I don't want you to get involved. It's time for us to stand up for ourselves. Mox, tonight you find out why my name is Evil Uno.
It's good stuff. Then Ricky Starks in an awesome green suit.
Oh, man, that was beautiful.
Comes to the ring.
Yeah.
He says, it ain't no secret these past few months I've dealt with interference from the JAS, baseball bats, people dressed up in masks being put through a table. And to me, the message is very clear. Chris, you don't want to have a rematch against moi. And I accept that the rematch won't happen. So I'm going to be moving on from you, Jericho. But what I have here, and he takes a piece of paper out of his coat pocket, is an open contract for a match at Revolution. As my theme says, the Revolution will be televised, so I'll be damned if I'm left off this pay-per-view. So I know there's somebody back there who's itching to get on this card. So I welcome you to come out here and let's do this damn thing. And then Judas starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. Then Jericho walks the ramp and says, now, Ricky, I know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to bait me into having another match. Try to bait me into having another match with you. You said you're over and done with Jericho. You're not over or done until I say so. But I'll tell you this. Count your blessings. You beat Chris Jericho. Congratulations. It was a highlight of your career. Take it and put a little box and put it on your nightstand. Look at it every night before you go to sleep. It's never going to happen again because I can beat you anytime, any place. But it's never going to happen because you're not on my level. So good luck with your open challenge. I hope it goes well for you. So then Peter Avalon comes out to the ramp. He wants the answer to the
head
open
full of
challenge.
steam, man.
Oh,
He's ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And what does he get? Judas effect.
Judas effect. Yeah. So Jericho says to Starks, he said, "You see what happens when you want an open challenge? Everybody's going to walk out here. Ugh, you want Chris Jericho so bad. You can't have Revolution without the Demo God. Maybe I should have a rematch with you and embarrass your stupid ass." And Starks is like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead and sign this. But we both know what's going to happen. You're going to bring JAS out here. They'll probably jump me again. And that's all good and well." He says, "But it's Chris Jericho, the first AEW champ, the man who beat 2 legends in one night. You did that all by yourself, right? I don't understand why you keep needing JAS. But unless you really think you can't beat me, I just think you'll have to get the job done by yourself." And Jericho's like, "Oh, you're telling me you don't think I could beat you one-on-one?" Stark says, No, I think you can. You can totally beat me." Jericho grabs the contract. "You're damn right I can beat you, and I can beat you one-on-one. I'm the great Chris Jericho. Of course I could beat lowly Ricky Starks. I would sign this contract. In fact, I'd add an addendum that says the JAS stays in the back. I'd do that right here, right now. Except I don't have a pen." And Stark says, "Oh, damn. Well, I do." And he pulls out the pen. He calls him on his bluff. Jericho stares at him, snatches the pen, does the old school. Isn't it amazing that Jericho got a pen click over? Like it's like a nostalgia hit if he clicks a pen.
Yep.
And he says he makes the addendum on there. He says the JAS can't come out. Mm-hmm. And then he says, he signs it. He says, "Ricky, you got it. Jericho versus Absolute at Revolution. Be careful what you wish for because nobody outsmarts the Ocho." And as he turns around and walks away, Ricky Starks totally just looks in the camera and smirks and winks his eye.
Yeah.
Dude,
he outsmarted him. Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing in the world, but God damn it, it's entertaining because these two guys make it entertaining. I think that the realization that this has been told completely ass backwards just sort of set in, and they're like, okay, how are we going to get there? Let's just do something completely asinine, but it's funny because we make it funny and we make it entertaining, and it's going to be a good match.
Well, also, Jericho, I believe, has a history of being tricked into matches in AEW. This isn't the first time this has happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
He can be manipulated. You know, he played to his ego. You can manipulate Jericho into doing things that otherwise he said he wasn't going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a Revolution Tag Team Battle Royal video package. Various teams dropping little short promos saying, "We're going to win. We're going to go on to Revolution and get the tag team championships," and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a bunch of that.
Best Friend was in there, a bunch of other teams.
Yeah. Then we had Lee Moriarty and Big Bill from the Firm versus the Acclaimed. Excuse me. There was a funny line in the caster rap. What was it? Yeah, I know my voice is giving out right now.
Trying to replay it in my head.
Oh man, I forget now. Random. Oh, it was a Robert Sarver reference.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
there was something else in there. I forgot what it was. Anyways, so of course the Ass Boys show up during this match. They attack Billy Gunn, their dad. Caster chases them off. But even with all the distraction, they still win this fairly easily. Like while he's running off the guns, he just sends Big Bill into the ring post.
Brittany says he made the soft reference to.
Yeah,
that was
good.
It even popped Morrissey.
Yeah. Oh, did he laugh at that?
He was laughing. He's like, "All right."
Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that.
Pretty funny.
That's good. So, anyways, yeah, they win with the mic drop here to get the momentum going into Revolution.
Indeed. And then Tony Schiavone goes out to the stage to interview Christian. So as Christian makes his entrance, stands on the stage, Jungle Boy runs out and spears the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of ground and pound. And Christian starts to crawl away. Jungle Boy hits him with an elbow, running forearm to the back of his head. And then Jungle Boy walks backstage. And we don't see him for a bit. He comes back out with a pair of chairs and sets up Christian for a concerto. He brings the chair up, but he hesitates. He can't bring himself to do it at first. And then finally he starts to bring the chair back. Christian hits him with a low blow, blasts him with the chair in the head, and then takes his head and starts slamming it into the chair that's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Boy busted open.
He was busted open, man. Also, oh, there she is. What's she going to do? She's like, I'm going to move to this part of the couch. That couch is so filthy. I'm never on that thing. I never get on that couch.
That's your sick cat's.
It is literally just my sick cat's. Yeah, it is just her couch.
Giant cat bed at this point.
And I told Lace, I was like, hey, man, I might get rid of this couch. She was like, your dog is on that couch always. How can you take that away from her? Sorry, cat. So she's on that. She's never anywhere else. How are you going to take that away from her? Solid point.
Really can't.
Solid point.
Really
Anyways,
can't.
after that, we had a Samoa Joe promo. It was like a video thing. And they replayed the end of Wardlow's promo last week. Joe responds, says, Wardlow, of all of man's great follies, perhaps his greatest is delusion. I scalped you to take the one thing that meant the most to you, your beloved connection with your father, and to send a message that I'm not a man to be messed with. At Revolution, I'm going to make it very clear the biggest mistake you ever made was stepping back into the ring with me.
Oh, man. Joe's got such gravitas.
I know. He's awesome.
He's the best. Then we got Saraya versus Sky Blue. This was a fun bout. Down towards the finish, Sky locks onto submission. And then Saraya hits, I think, what used to be called the page turner. Gets a 2 with that. So then Sky goes up top. Saraya punches her, is looking for a superplex. Sky escapes, hits a crossbody, a drop kick, covers, but then Tony Storm gets on the apron to distract the ref. So then Sky knocks her off, turns around, super kick from Saraya. And again, it used to be called page tap out. I don't know what it's called now. But she locks that on. Sky gives up. Afterwards, Tony and Saraya, they get their spray paint. They're about to spray paint Sky Blue. Britt and Jamie run down to make the save. And so Tony and Saraya, first they spray paint somebody's sign in the crowd. And then they go up to the ramp. Ruby Soho comes out. And she's looking past them. She's signaling to Jamie Hayter. She's doing the discount double check. She wants title shot.
Hey, Rogers. Yeah.
And at one point, like, Tony and Saraya kind of staying in front of her, and she kind of goes, no, out of the way.
I don't want you. And
Discount
Excalibur is like, oh, she's saying this. She doesn't want to, but what side is she on? But she says she doesn't want them. And she's
she wants
like,
title. It's clear.
Yeah.
Either she wants State Farm Insurance or she wants the title.
Probably in this case, it's the title. But, don't discount the insurance, discount double check. Yeah, we find out later on in a Jamie Hayter, we'll just talk about it now. Jamie Hayter, there's a little backstage thing where she says, how about a triple threat? They're both deserving, Saraya and Ruby Soho, which is great. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. I mean, do they do a big reveal at Revolution on Insta? Because, look, here's the thing. They are pushing the idea that Ruby Soho needs to choose sides.
Yeah.
They got to follow up with that. Otherwise, all this is for naught. They can't do the thing where she's like, no, I really don't care whose side I'm on. I just want the title. She's got to choose somebody's side here, right? As part of the story of this triple threat.
I mean, I wonder if it's a situation where her hand is going to kind of be forced to choose a side.
Because we already saw that in the last triple threat where it was like, what side is she on?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in theory, I like the idea of Ruby just being like, I'm not going to get involved in this conflict. I'm keeping my eyes for what I want, which is championships.
I wonder if it's going to be the kind of thing where because Hayter's obviously very popular, Hayter's going to walk away from this match as champion. Like, we know that. And maybe that'll motivate Ruby joining Saraya and Tony, because Saraya might be like, hey, you and I need to team up to take out Hayter. And then Hayter gets through it. And so Ruby's like, well, damn, like I couldn't get the job done. But then maybe it would force her to be like, I don't know. I don't know.
I thought of a scenario last night after watching the show that was like, oh, this could pan out. And it would kind of organically lead to Ruby making a decision, but then I completely forgot what it was.
That's the most going in Raw shit.
The only thing I remember is that Saraya won.
I love it. Oh, okay. Oh, the title at Revolution?
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
But then it would lead to Jade getting involved in the story, and then she would beat Saraya for the title.
Honestly, that's the shit that should happen. Like, Jade should be involved in all this stuff.
I know.
I mean, that would be kind of cool if they do. Because, like, wait, who are the originals in this? It's Hayter and Britt, huh?
Yeah.
They should do like a third man brother type thing, where Jade is the third man. That'd be kind of cool. If you're doing the Outsiders, you got to have a third man. Jade is that.
I guess so, yeah.
But then Jade turns on Hayter, or Hayter loses the title. Yeah, there you go. Hayter loses the title. Jade's the third man. She's title holder, and then she beats and brings it back home to the Outsiders. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, after that, we had you could do Brian, I'll do MJF here.
All right, sounds good. So Bryan Danielson comes to the ring, says, wow, it's great to be back in Phoenix. I believe he used to live in Phoenix, if Total Bell is any indication.
Okay.
He says, it seems like people here want me to win the AEW title at Revolution. Well, trust me, I'm going to do everything in my power to beat MJF for that title. But first, I want to talk about what MJF said last week. MJF came to this ring and said that he hates Bryan Danielson. So let me get this straight. He tries to break the arm of a friend of mine for 20 years, and he hates me? He put a bounty on my head so I wouldn't even make it to the pay-per-view, and he hates me? MJF, you hospitalized my mentor, William Regal, and he hates me?
So MJF comes out. He says, see, you may have all these schmucks twisted, but I know who you are, and I know who I am. I'm the guy who was left stranded by anyone I ever opened up to. I'm the guy who got thrown away like trash by anyone who claimed they loved me. And then I met a girl who changed my outlook on this planet, a girl I fell in love with. She convinced me that not everybody in this world is bad, so then I became a man who got down on one knee, and I told the girl that I wanted to start a family with her. And the crowd's trolling the shit on the entire time.
Yeah.
He says, I wanted to make a home with her. I wanted to have children with her. And you know what she did? She left me. She left me, Brian. And the crowd started chanting, you deserve it. So anyways, he stews a little bit and then he continues.
Yeah.
She left me because I'm unlovable. So now the only thing that I have in this world makes me feel unconditional love is Triple B. So I'm going to pause right there really quick because this is a promo is good, but part of our job is take piss out of stuff.
Yeah.
It sort of like lessens the impact of his promos when he refers to this thing as Triple B.
I know.
It's the stupidest name for a title. It's like, I love you, Triple B. Just call it the world title, man. He says, this title is the only thing that's keeping me from grabbing a fistful of pills and calling it a day. He says, but not you, Brian. No, everybody loves the American Dragon. Everybody respects you. They throw their hands up in the air and scream yes at the top of their lungs. Crowd starts doing that. Bryan Danielson's like got a big smile on his time the entire time until he mentions the kids. He said, if that wasn't enough, you have something I'll never have. You have a family, a beautiful, smart, adoring wife, 2 children, and you take all of it for granted. You want to know why I hate you? It's not just because these schmucks think you're better than me. I hate you because you've had more concussions and head traumas than anybody in this business. You suffered concussion after concussion until you're on the floor, foam streaming down your face, having seizures, and you're still in my sport. Every time you step foot in that ring, you're saying wrestling is more important than your family. Every time you step foot in that ring, you're spitting in my face because every time you step foot in that ring, you're taking everything I would kill for granted. You're no different than your worthless drug-addicted mentor who I gladly sent to the hospital. Actually, or worse, because you're addicted to the spotlight. He says, well, at Revolution, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you for trying to take away the one thing I have in this life. I'm going to punish you for everything you have taken for granted. So now I'd like to take this chance to speak to your kids watching at home. And he's like, what do Brian says?
Is like, don't you talk about my children. I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, so MJF doesn't care. He looks at the camera and says, hi, Birdie. Hi, buddy. I just wanted you to know that I'm going to make Dada pay for all his selfishness. I'm going to rip his arm out of its socket and make sure he can never play with you again. For 1 hour straight, I'm going to make sure he can never pick you up again. And then Uncle Max is going to take his fist and hit him over and over and over again. He gets in the ring. Then I'm going to give Dada a present. Early onset CTE. And then Danielson just decks him. They brawl. Security comes out. Big pull-apart brawl. And then MJF slips out of the ring. Danielson gets out of the ring on the other side, chases him around, and punches the shit out of him.
Yeah, it was a good segment.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Then we got the aforementioned Jamie Hayter-Britt interview where Hayter challenged Ruby and Saraya to a title match at Revolution. Then we got the Revolution Tag Team Battle Royal. Mark Briscoe runs out at one point, and the crowd goes crazy because Mark Briscoe's wildly entertaining.
He's awesome.
And he goes after Sterling, goes after Josh Woods. And while all that's going on, it allows Penta to eliminate Tony Nese with a fear factor on the apron.
Yeah, that was rough.
And the Lucha Brothers team up to Chuck Davari out. It was a strong showing for Butcher. He lasted down till the final five.
Yeah.
So good showing for him. I won't go through all the eliminations. 2.0 didn't get into the match like halfway through it, and then we're pretty much eliminated immediately. We had a Danhausen appearance. Orange Cassidy crawled out from under the ring at one point. But the final 3 were lethal. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and then Trent.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy helped. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Satnam Singh helped Double J and Lethal from elimination once prior.
Mm-hmm.
But then Trent hits Lethal with the tornado DDT, and then Jarrett hits Trent with the stroke. He thinks he's tossed Trent over the top. Trent's there holding on to the top rope. Orange Cassidy emerges from under the ring, puts Trent on the shoulder, Helkins back in the ring. So Trent can eliminate Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
But then Satnam saves Jeff Jarrett yet again from elimination.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jarrett hits Trent with another stroke and then tosses him over the top rope to get the win.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So after that, we had a House of Black promo. Malachi says, thousands of people is what you heard last week. Thousands of people that feel and see the same thing we've been seeing for months, that there's a problem in this company. It's time for us to address that problem and eradicate it. Let these voices be heard. And Brody steps in and says, they ran out of Reese's Pie. That's the problem with this company. No, he said the house will bring a firestormer from the ashes. The house will establish its foundation on the cinder. And then Buddy says, but before Revolution, House would like to discuss your status as trios champs. Face to face. Oi.
So I think
Sorry, I just had to do the
Rampage,
fucking accent.
they're doing that. They're going to have a stare down.
I hope it's just that. They just stare at each other.
Just look at each other. They all try to see if they can palm a basketball.
Oh, that's good. It was going to be a blinking contest. Well, you have contact lenses.
Yeah, I know. It's impossible for like not blink after 20 seconds. Then we have Renee saying Tony Khan has an announcement, and he says that actually Adam Cole is the one with the announcement. So Adam Cole makes the announcement of AEW All Access starting in March. So he's going to show his story. He's excited to share it. It's also going to lead to his in-ring return, same night as premiere. Said the month of March, it's going to be something special. Get the debut of All Access and got the in-ring return of Adam Cole, baby.
I hope it's early March, as in the March that we're going to Dynamite.
So like
awesome.
the Wednesday after Revolution, yes.
I want to see Chugs wrestle. That'd be great.
We've never seen Chugs wrestle before.
Oh, yes, we have.
When?
We had to have.
Don't think we have.
Come on, we haven't been to a takeover with Adam Cole there?
No, I think the takeovers we went to was before he was in NXT.
Come on, we've seen him wrestle.
I don't think we've seen him wrestle live.
Oh, I met him at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
That's different.
You did.
Okay, so yeah, I was like, man, I know I've seen Adam Cole in person somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. My best friend. I did the shoulder lean on him. Boom.
Our sun keeps coming and going. It makes my lighting all jacked up.
After that, we had Sanjay Dutt, Lethal, and Jarrett promo. Dutt says, everything's coming to fruition. We're going to become tag champions. And then the Gun Club steps in and says, hey, maybe at Revolution, it's just us versus you guys. And Dutt's like, the firm didn't get the job done earlier. Austin says, well, why don't we take care of each other's business before Revolution? And Jarrett says, we'll take care of your business. You take care of ours, slap nuts. And Lethal thinks it's a good idea.
Yep. Lethal seems into it. Then we got our main event, Mox versus Evil Uno. So then Uno gets off to a fast start. Mm-hmm. And then pretty quickly, it seems like Mox has turned the tables. But then Uno hits a boot and then starts choking Mox with his vest. He puts Mox in the top rope looking for a superplex. Mox fights him off, starts ripping at Uno's mask. Uno boots Mox to the floor and hits him with a huge somersault senton off the top rope to the floor.
Yeah.
Hitting Mox with a bunch of strikes. And then Mox ends up throwing Uno into the ring steps, and that's what busts Uno open. Starts bleeding up from there. So then back in the ring, Mox is just pummeling Uno with strikes. Uno grabs him, bang, pile driver. Bang, another pile driver. Mox kicks out. So then Mox locks on the rear naked choke. Starts dropping a bunch of elbows on Uno. Sinks in the bulldog choke, but Uno gets to his feet. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever seen anybody do that with Mox has him in the bulldog.
Yeah.
So then Mox transitions to the rear naked choke again. Wraps his legs around him. Mm-hmm. Blood is just squirting from Uno's head at this point. He's got that bulldog choke on and really cranking back. You just see the blood squirting out.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But once Uno's in the rear naked choke, ref calls for the bell. Uno doesn't tap. But Mox doesn't release the hold. Mm-hmm. So then you have Silver and Reynolds come down to help Uno. Well, this brings Claudio and Wheeler out. They all rush to the ring and a huge brawl breaks out.
Yeah.
And then Hangman, which sounds like he had different music.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, there's different music playing. It sounded like.
Okay.
He runs out there. starts throwing hands, gets the hunk of barbed wire, wraps it around his fist, starts pummeling Mox with it. He's bleeding all over the place. And Page looks for a buckshot. Mox rolls out of the ring, and he's like laying against the ramp, just blood pouring out of his face.
Yeah.
Urgency. There's a lot of urgency in this. Whole
segment. There was. Yeah, I think a lot. I think the main thing that they have sort of control over is like you said, the pacing. You know, if you keep the pacing up, if you stick to a lot of good wrestling, and if the wrestling matches have stakes and urgency, then it's difficult to go wrong. You know.
Some people are saying that they might have accidentally played Dark Order music for Hangman.
Or if
I'd be pretty
like,
surprised
hey,
they got rid of his theme.
Play Dark Order music for me because I'm firmly Dark Order now. But then next week is like,
Page just looks towards camera and does this.
Yeah, right, exactly. Anyways, you want to go? Do we have any? What we got here? We're at 144 likes. If by the time we finish these questions that we're going to read here in a second, if we're at 200, then Triple H will call in. But we got to get to 200. We're at 144 right now.
You won't do it unless we get to 200.
Between the 423 we got watching, between the 162 watching on Twitch, I'm sure we can get 66 more. But maybe not.
I think so.
Maybe not.
Oh, he's trying to Ricky Stark's approach here.
I don't think we can do it. I think we can do it. We can't do it alone.
Oh, and then like chat's like, oh, you're saying that we can't do it?
I know you can.
I want to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Cameron Bordalazzo asks, what are the chances FTR will be the Joker in next week's tag team Casino Battle Royal? 98%.
1,000%, unless they have like travel issues.
That's what I'm saying. 2% no for travel issues. Because apparently, like Portland, they're playing the Kings tonight. They're having some travel issues getting out of Portland.
Oh yeah, because it's like snow everywhere.
Stuck on the tarmac for 7 hours yesterday or something like that.
Nice. Then the advantage, Sacramento, like the beam. Jonathan Vieira says,
Did you get any of that mushy snow hail at your place yesterday?
I didn't notice it.
Yeah, we got some here.
I didn't see any, but it's
it would
possible.
hit the ground and then melt right away.
Around what time was it?
2:30? 2:30?
Oh, I wasn't outside at that point.
Oh, I heard it raining, so I looked out the window, and then it looked like hail, but it was soft.
SAWFT?
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I didn't know. I don't know what I was doing at 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Usually at 3 o'clock, it's like nap time. Yeah, but I don't think I did that yesterday. I don't know what I was doing. Anyways, Jonathan Vieira, I want some onion rings now. Summer's at the restaurant. I don't think she gets back till 4. It's a thing now because my kid works at the barbecue place.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I have an option every time she leaves there.
Oh, to get stuff.
Be like, hey, can I get some onion rings? So I have to like stop myself from doing that.
You stop yourself from onion rings, get some ribs.
That's too much. I want a whole ass meal. But they do give you a lot of onion rings. And they got this like weird sauce with it too. It's so good.
Is it like an aioli?
Yeah.
Yeah, aiolis are good.
Yeah. Jonathan Vieira says, if WWE splits the titles and lets Cody bring back the winged eagle design, should the Universal title get a redesign too? Yeah. No. I think those world titles look great the way they are, but I wouldn't mind seeing the winged eagle title. I guess it's so small though. I don't know if it needs to come back.
It's a great title. Bring it back.
How would you redesign the Universal title? Give me an example of a different title that you would use. You need to Rawgate 2 titles. Here's your task. Rawgate 2 titles to create the new Universal title.
All right.
The Universal title.
Make it kind of more, like the North American title in NXT. It's kind of got like a vintage look.
Oh, yeah.
You mix the vintage with the modern, something like that.
Okay, all right.
Go back in, go look at what an early WWF title looked like. Take elements from that, make it a larger belt.
You know what I would do?
Because I did so tiny back then.
I did this video over at WrestleJuice looking at the Signature Series, the WWE Signature Series titles.
Yeah.
And their Mankind title is like the Winged Eagle, but it's on brown leather, like really like vintage looking brown leather, weathered brown leather.
Yeah.
And it's because it's kind of like the Mankind mask, right?
Yeah.
But the current WWE title, but you just make it look old. Like instead of like the black strap, it's like a weathered brown leather strap.
You got like a patina on it.
And instead of what's patina? What is that?
You know, like when you get a penny and it's copper.
Yeah.
And it starts to get old and it starts to get a little green.
Yeah.
The green is the patina.
The patina. Yeah, put some patina on it. Sure. And then like the plating all needs to be gold instead of silver.
Uh-huh.
That'd be sick.
but with patina on it.
Also with patina.
Or you take the title that Snoop Dogg has. It's all gold.
Oh, I'm telling you, they should have used that damn thing for their world title. That thing is beautiful.
You got that right.
Eduardo says, if you could bring a fictional pro wrestler from any movie, TV show, or maybe a book, who would it be?
Bring him where?
It doesn't say. If you could bring him, like just milling about with you in your room, I guess. No, yeah, to AEW.
Oh, all right, because that's going to affect my answer. Like I don't want
AEW.
top-notch super best lurking around over behind me. That's scary.
Mm-hmm. So
if he was in AEW, that'd be great.
A couple options here: Randy the Ram, Jimmy King, Nacho Libre,
a
Bonesaw, Terry Funk, or his dead opponent from that one episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Yeah, that's good.
God, that's what we got to do for Friendo Club. We got to power rank fictional wrestlers.
That's good. Yeah, that is good.
RoboCop. Yeah, RoboCop. He was already brought into WCW.
Yeah. What was Vern Gagne's name in The Wrestler?
Oh, man.
Because Billy Robinson got to keep his name, but Vern had a different name.
I think Billy Robinson's was changed a little bit, wasn't it?
No, it was Billy Robinson.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought he changed it ever so slightly. It's like Billy Robbins or something like that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Billy Robinson.
Okay. All right.
Gosh, what was his name?
Oh, Enforcer says Piper and Ventura from that tag team TV show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't remember anything about the thing that we did with him and Rob Fee.
Dang Q is the right answer. Two-headed Rock Cena.
Oh man, it's a
Mike
shame
Bullard.
that...
Mike Bullard.
What a great name.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. It's Billy Taylor, not Billy Robinson.
That's what it is. Yeah. Hey, to be fair, it was like 2:00 in the morning, dude.
It was.
Wrestling office, she says.
Wrestling office, she says.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, dude, it'd be Randy the Ram. He's the biggest name. That dude like main evented Madison Square Garden or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's a massive star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. What was CM Punk's name in heels? Rabies.
Ricky Rabies.
Ricky Rabies. Yeah. With the.
You just need everybody from Duffy Wrestling League.
Oh yeah, dude, man, or the XPW version of it across the town.
Oh yeah, in Florida.
Yeah, Florida Dystopia Wrestling or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunderlips. There you go. It's Fuck Thunderlips Day. We only had 2 questions on the YouTube, so I need more questions from your Patreon.
Alex Foster has a great one. Says, sorry for the NXT question, but I'm the only one who noticed that Tiffany Stratton said the WrestleMania. Is she a Werner Herzog fan?
Oh man, there you go. Werner Herzog needs to.
That's our path to.
Yeah,
Werner Herzog showing up at WrestleMania.
Oh, I think that's a great idea, Tiffany Stratton. We will attend the WrestleMania and let the world on fire.
This is a great question from Cool Bro here. Went to Dynamite last night, was on hard cam, and had so many great interactions with the wrestlers and crew. What was your favorite interaction with a wrestler? Cool Bro says Saraya flipped me off last night, and it was awesome.
Man, my favorite interaction ever with a wrestler. Oh, man. We were in a position... We've been doing this a long time, and we've been lucky enough to have quite a few. I'm trying to. I mean, dude, honestly, chatting up Adam Cole was awesome.
Here's 2 that come to mind. Getting a fist bump from Naito. That was great. And then maybe or maybe not giving AJ Styles a 2-sweet.
I think the AJ Styles stuff when we were talking about the 2-sweet, I thought that was a really good. That's a video we got right now on our channel. You guys can watch it. I thought that whole interview was really, really good because we got to talk about the retro stuff. The old school video games. That was awesome. That was really cool. Even Sasha talking about like randomly, mentioning that her first video game, wrestling video game was
the ECW game on the N64.
The ECW one. Yeah, I thought that was really, really.
What about interactions at a show?
Well, you mentioned the Naito fist bump. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing?
The New Japan one, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, okay, I was
Sorry, go ahead.
We went to the NXT show at the Memorial when Shinsuke was doing, he used to go in the corner and do that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like right next to him when he was doing that. That was really cool to sort of.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because that popped in my head too.
That was really cool. I mean, when Scott Norton walked by you and put you in the NWO.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was quite an honor.
Cast. That was cool.
That was just such a warm gesture. I don't think we even talked to him. He just walked by and just put his hand on my shoulder and just like, hey, we're going to get through this weekend, pal.
Yeah. And you're in the NWO on top of that.
I guess so. I
thought that was really cool.
Helping Beefcake put his backdrop up.
When Vampiro offered to give us a scoop on the show.
I mean,
I have it. His number was in my phone at some point.
Yeah.
I should have saved that shit, but I don't know why I didn't. Man, start texting him. Hey, Vampiro.
Offering Damian Priest a donut.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
It was Joey and Penelope before that, and they came by and got it later.
Yeah. They came. Yeah, they kept that one up here. They were like an option for later.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Because, man, he was hurting that day.
Yeah, he was.
That was the day after All In.
Yeah. All the stuff that we've done at Action Coast has been a lot of fun with all those wrestlers there. That's been a lot of fun.
Oh, chatting up Trent. He was sitting next to us. Chelsea Green, who's an absolute delight.
Oh, she was awesome. She was great.
Yeah, Chelsea was super cool.
Pete Santiago brings up, Colt Cabana, our interviews with him. That has been awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to remember any other ones. It's been cool. I mean, obviously seeing, my very first interaction with a wrestler, seeing Jeff Hardy at McDonald's, and then Big Jeff goes up and, says, "Hey, aren't you Christian?" And I was like, "No, it's Jeff Hardy."
When I met Eddie Guerrero in the parking lot of a Craig and Auto Parts. They're an autograph sign.
You have quite the list of celebrity parking lot encounters. Brian Wilson, right? Wasn't that one of them?
Brian Wilson, the parking lot.
That's a pretty big deal.
Sherman, that's a massive deal.
That's a big deal there. Did you tell him, "Hey, man, I love Sloop John B"?
No, I didn't want to bother.
Sloop. It's Sloop, right?
Sloop, yeah.
Sloop John B, yeah.
It's about a boat.
Should have just started singing it to him.
Yeah, I should have.
My grandfather and me.
Oh, the captain ashore, let me go home. He's like, yeah, let me go home, man.
Oh, Enforcer. I forgot about this one. When I worked at Kinko's, the Honky Tonk Man came in to make copies. I wasn't even like a wrestling guy at the time. It was like a junior college, and he rolls in there. He's got his big sunglasses on. Looked like the coolest guy. Had the fanny pack and everything. And I made some copies for the local pro wrestling show.
I mean, who could forget the selfie you took with Roman Reigns?
Oh, man. Classic. That's right. When Hilton,
especially when I made you bald.
That was even funnier. When Hilton, for $100, I got to be front. They don't do $100 front row at WWE anymore.
Don't. Not even at house shows, they don't.
No, at house shows they don't do that shit. You get a chair, but you got to pay $500.
Yep. I think for house shows for $500, you get the meet and greet opportunity backstage, but still, it's $500. That's a lot.
Yeah, $500 is a lot. But front row at a wrestling show is a blast.
Yeah, it is.
It is so much fun. Oh yeah, when the PWG show, just watching all the wrestlers like hawk their merchandise and like the fucking who's who of like who it was,
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. No Smash Zone tonight because I'm going to be at Golden One Center, hopefully lighting that beam.
Yeah, I like that beam, Steve.
But we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it.
Did we get 200 likes?
We're at 199.
Only one away.
Wah, wah. Shockmaster says 200, but I see 199.
I see 199 here.
Yeah. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I still see 199. There it is. There it is. All right, let me go.
There we go. 202.
Let me go do some paperwork here, and we'll get Triple H in. He's been waiting. He's like, "Did you guys get in 200 or what?" So just now it's 207. All right, here we go.
Now it's 212.
Hello, hi, this is Paul Levesque, the Game of Games, the King of Kings, Triple H. How can I be of service today? Hello, where can I direct your call?
Hi, Triple H.
Sometimes I like to work the phones here.
That's
And
interesting.
just send people. It's it's like pissant work, but somebody's got to do it. And I feel lets me make connections to the outside world.
Really? Who have you talked to today?
Dad, Doug DeVince.
Oh, has he giving you any ideas as far as like creative and stuff, or is he kind of forcing his ideas on you at all?
I can now confirm his fingerprints all over this shit. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Everything bad, though. It's everything bad that's about, like, name anything bad, and he did it. Everything good is me.
Off the top of my head, it's been for the most part pretty enjoyable.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dad's a genius. So, yeah, no, I've got my... Don't interrupt. Just because I took a heavy breath, I had more to say. So, yeah, I'm coming up, whipping up the script for SmackDown tomorrow. Watching AEW Dynamite on my DVR for things not to do. And yeah, so we're coming up with SmackDown. So I have a big show tomorrow, a huge show. On the road to WrestleMania, the greatest stage of them all. Not that pissant double or nothing. What a bunch of crap that is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure. Why not? That's like a normal thing.
Can you confirm or deny whether you or Vince booked Brock versus Omos for WrestleMania?
Oh, man, Omos, future star, huge star in the WWE. He's totally going to win this match just like he won against Braun Strowman at the other show that we did.
Braun beat Omos at Crown Jewel.
He got his heat back, though, didn't he? In the end, that's all that matters. Yeah, he got his heat back.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. Anyways, Omos should have won that. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar, too. Wait, hold on a second. I just got a text message. Hold on. It's Dad. He's saying, oh, damn it. Brock's got to win that match. You know what?
Kind of.
Here's the thing, though. At least it's not. He was pitching to me. The old man was pitching to me. Brock versus Roman. That's what he wanted to do. Brock versus Roman. I was like, Dad. I was like, listen, we've already done that. We literally did a match. Why are you looking behind you? Don't look behind you. Hold on a second. Steph, what are we doing? Are we doing onion rings for lunch today? I just want a bucket of onion rings and like a whole giant coffee mug full of like aioli. Yeah, garlic. My breath is gonna be like a sledgehammer.
It's really good is like Chipotle aioli.
Oh yeah, I like that too. Like Southwestern. Anyways, what was the question?
I don't remember.
That's okay. So I'm gonna have some onion rings. It's like sometimes, why are you keep on looking over there? Why do you keep doing that? What is over there?
Don't mind me.
It's like you're visually interrupting me. Like you're interrupting me, but stop doing that. That is so frustrating. And now you're just doing it. Now you're just doing it to get under my skin. What are you doing? Why you've got like ADHD? What's going on right now?
Through there and it's bothering me.
Oh my God, wait a second. Are you in your bedroom? Are you in your mom's basement?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
Bedroom. It's my bedroom. My bed's right there.
Oh my God, does it smell like a fart? You sit there all night, just like lay farts into it?
Not currently, no.
I think you do. You probably do, because you got Fat John Cena told me you got a tummy it's like a little baby's tummy, like it's always upset.
So it's not totally true.
Yeah, you can't eat eggs or something, right?
Yeah, no eggs, no dairy.
How are you supposed to get your protein?
Meat.
Do you eat like a lot of salmon?
Yeah, I like salmon.
Yeah, I'll take.
Let me ask you, what's the most salmon you've ever eaten in one day?
I would say it's a good. It's like probably like 6 or 7 big giant actual salmon.
Ounces, pounds. Like
one time I went down to the river and I took my sledgehammer with me and I started just sledgehammering salmon and then eating them off my sledgehammer because I'm the king of king.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I did.
All right.
With my summer day, I went down to the salmon river and I started annihilating salmon and eating them all.
Like a bear, huh?
Like, yeah, it was like me and a bear. And I was like, hey, bear, stop interrupting my salmon eating by trying to attack the King of Kings. And then I gave that bear a pedigree. 1, 2, 3, they were gone.
Yeah.
They were
done.
Salmon
were yours.
And then I got it. Don't interrupt my salmon bear story. And then they were all mine.
Did you fall asleep on the banks of the river because you were so stuffed with salmon?
Oh, man, I had a big old salmon bear nap.
Yeah.
It was great. I'd use the sledgehammer as my pillow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got that right.
Comfortable.
Oh, man, no, it was fantastic because you're You're like a little, weakling. I slept on my sledgehammer. I gotta go. I'm hungry. I want onion rings. Goodbye.
All right, enjoy your onion rings and salmon.
He's already gone, man. He's already gone.
Wow.
Man, how did that go?
It went fine. We're talking about salmon and eating protein and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Taking some dietary tips from Hunter.
He likes his salmon.
All right. Yeah, that's true. We got confirmation on that one. Jeff, of course, ate with Triple H one time and said he just kept on asking for salmon.
Yep. It's good protein. Got your omega-3 fatty acids in there, too.
Oh, yeah, the Kenny omega-3s, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Is it good for...
So, wait, did you ask him, how much salmon he's ever had in one sitting? Because that's kind of interesting.
And then he talked about hitting salmon in the river with the sledgehammer and eating I would imagine, what's left of the salmon off the sledgehammer.
God damn.
It was all very violent, and then he gave a bear a pedigree.
Sounds about it. That's on brand. That's on brand.
I guess so.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening. Yeah. So just straight from the river, huh? The salmon river? Straight out of the salmon river?
Yeah, straight out of the salmon river. You got it. It's almost like you're there listening.
Holy shit.
Taking part in it.
Didn't happen. Nope. I was too busy doing my paperwork.
Well, paperwork. Show it to me. That's a notepad. That's not paperwork.
See.
That's the same notepad you're writing down.
It's got a really small smiley face on it.
Oh, okay. That's what you're doing.
The entire time for 7 minutes.
Slow sketching a smiley face, huh?
Oh, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.